drop an album every 4 to 5 years. And it's like, damn, can you speed it up?
I mean, she be having to live it, and then she write as she goes. So it's a lived experience. And that last album, man, that one.
Yeah, she was talking about the kids. Now she got her a black man, and I
Oh
think they're
yeah.
engaged. And I hope. I'm just like,
Then
Adele, don't do it.
the next album, she gonna be talking like Jasmine Sullivan on
Oh
Hotels.
my god, I'm not gonna lie, that would be fired.
They
I'm
need
in
a
there.
duet. They need a duet. That's what they need to do. Or her and Sam Smith. They need to go ahead and reveal that they not the same person. Because in my theory, when have you ever seen Sam Smith and Adele at the same place? Never.
Like live.
Yeah, it's never happened. Why is that? Because they're the same person.
There's a lot of people I haven't seen in the same room as other people.
No. We talking about people that's similar in things. He sings as well as she sings. They can make a bop, and then whenever the other one on the scene, the other one is no longer on the scene. And I don't mean just like at places, but they're nowhere to be thought of or to be seen
So
when
they're
the other one is popping.
so they're pulling like a Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes.
Okay, I get it. I think I see what you're saying, but whew, he got some good jams too.
He does. And I bet every time he drop a jam, she ain't got no jams out at the same time.
But it could be the fact that nobody wants to release anything around Adele.
Possibly. It's a possibility. But what I don't know I don't know what came first, her or him.
Adele has been out there for a minute. It's just
He has too though.
well, let me see. We'll have to
I
get
was in
into it.
I feel like I was in college when they was at least like 2011.
What am I supposed to be Googling? When did Sam Smith come on the scene? Come
You,
out
you
like his album.
just yeah, his first album.
So May 2014. So now I'm gonna do Adele. I feel like Adele was before that.
She was 2011 for sure, but I think that 19 album
Nah,
came.
Adele was her 19 album came out in 2008.
Damn, she that old?
I didn't realize that either because I didn't realize Adele had came out when I was in college. Oh
I
wait,
didn't
hold
fuck. I
on.
didn't.
What's my what's my age again?
I was graduating high school. So what was your age, ma'am?
I think I was 12.
The truth shall be revealed.
What?
But so to that, but but so now Adele, I'm gonna give Adele a pass because I didn't really fuck with Adele until the second out till 21 came out, and like that album was immaculate. That was a great year for music in 2000. I think that was 2011, maybe 2012, when 21 dropped. But I didn't know Taylor Swift came out like in 2005. Like Taylor Swift came out when Beyonce went solo. Like Taylor Swift been out for a long time, and I didn't know that for sure.
Because I feel like nobody really paid attention to her in the urban spaces until Kanye took the mic from her.
And man, that was all this shit probably happened around the same time, to be honest.
Mm.
2011, 2012, all that shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. But are you ready to get started on this episode? I'm going to say yes. Jason has been crying because he finished his rewatch. We can go ahead and get started. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Was It Good Though podcast, where we review movies and TV shows. We are going to spoil them bad boys, y'all. But before we get into that, I am one of your hosts. I am Jazz.
And I'm Jason.
And we are here to give y'all our episode 182. That's right. We have 182 episodes, actually plus episodes out there that you can check out. Go revisit where me and Jason got our first starts in podcasting. It's a little crazy, but you'll see the growth for sure. But for episode 182, we are doing Reasonable Doubt Season 3. this is the first time we're actually doing an episode for this series. I'm
Hmm.
excited. I was excited when you brought it up. Was like, let's go ahead and do season 3 because this season, in my opinion, it was the most emotional, the most like triggering in certain spaces. And I just feel
Hmm.
like the writing this season was just A1.
It was.
So
It was.
I'm definitely ready to get into it. But before we get into this episode, y'all please be sure to check out our episode 181. We reviewed one battle after another. And for 183, I believe we are doing Predator Badlands. But if we
Hmm.
don't,
Yeah. Yeah.
put a comment somewhere in one of our social medias like, y'all lied to me. Y'all did something else. Go ahead and leave a comment. It's completely fine. But I will say I want to drop a warning for this episode because there will be some very tough topics discussed in this episode that might trigger some possible traumas because we do speak on sexual abuse in this episode. So I just want to go ahead and put that warning out there. But Jason, this is a show that you put me on, I believe, last year, and I was able to get through the first 2 seasons, and I definitely enjoyed them. So this is a show that you put me on. So with it having 3 seasons, and it also got renewed for season 4, so we definitely are going to get a season 4. And I'm curious to see where it goes, and I'm completely glad because I feel like this season definitely set up for season 4 of
Hmm.
how everything was going. So the storytelling, and there is a lot to cover. So let me ask you, where would you like to begin?
Um, I think it's only right that we kind of do a little bit of a recap of the first 2 seasons so we can kind of get into where they are now. Um, which we begin with Jax. Jax is a married woman, 2 kids, black husband. I think that kind of sets the groundwork for what I'm enjoying because we don't get to see the successful black woman that leads the story. Um, that's not doing just crazy. I mean, she has a bit of a chaotic life, but I do feel her life in this story is real. Of course, you got some dramatizations of things because the first season, she's began as a public defender defending a gentleman who she eventually fell in love with, and we see he ends up kidnapping her, and unfortunately he unalives himself um, at the end of season 1. A lot of season 1 was wrapped in her dealing with her relationship with her husband, the relationship with her mother, and the relationship that we get introduced to, but it doesn't come back until season 3. Is that's the relationship she has with her father. That's something that played a big part um, in this season. Um, and then, of course, you got season 2, which at the end of season 1, it ends finding out that her friend has murdered someone. Which season 2, I thoroughly enjoyed it, but it was very repetitive, and I felt like the trial was a waste of time based on the circumstances that a lady was defending her daughter who killed her dad, who was abusing her. And I was like, we could have not gone to trial if you would have just told them this is what happened. But given the circumstances, who knows how you react in it, especially when it comes to someone you love and trying to protect someone. And all of this stuff appears to be messy, but of course, the way season 2 ends is unfortunately in season 1, Lewis. It's a complicated situation, so I don't want to say he cheated, but he did step out and created a child with Toni, which is the town's or the little town's um, pass around lady. I'm gonna say that to be fair, but she loses the child and she is suing the Stewarts. Jazz, what did you think about this situation and how it played out throughout the season?
So when I saw the end of season 2, because it ended with them getting the papers that Toni was suing them. And I said, I know this bitch didn't. But I'm gonna be completely honest. Like this season definitely had me feeling very bad for Toni.
Bruh.
And there's it's one of the things to where it's like some people will be like, well, no, you got to go against her because she should have been sleeping with Lewis and all this other stuff. But like, let's keep it a buck. Like him and Jax were separated,
Mm-hmm.
and
And it was on and they
adults
was on fuck
did
shit.
consensual things, and
Mm-hmm.
men wasn't using condoms, women wasn't telling him to use condoms, and situations happen. And it's like that shit happens like every day. But with them being able to use her character, and I feel like one of the most impactful and emotional scenes from this season was when they were breaking down the room. I think because there were a few scenes from this season that had me tearing up, and I believe
Bruh.
that is definitely one of them because that scene alone, because you're thinking like, so she want to spend one night with him, like, oh, she gonna try to fuck. That's
Jazz.
she just won't Lewis dick. Like Lewis got the
Jazz.
best dick. I
So
mean, she did get there, but Jason, leading up to that though, like before her lust kicked in, he was because the lust be trying to kick in. But before the lust kicked in, when she brought Lewis into that room, I got so emotional. I said, "Oh, y'all showing me this?" And the room looked good as shit. I'm not gonna lie. Toni, you did a great fucking job. That room looked perfect. And then when she said, I know you're a Eagles fan, and I know you would have loved to see him.
bruh.
Was
That
it? I
his
said,
name his name being Hurts is like perfect. In the campaign is like love hurts, you know? Like so it was that was almost like a perfect thing. Um and I was gonna say that is man, that is a real one thing I do love about this show is they tackle complicated situations. And
yes,
it's not it's and it may seem complicated for maybe back in the day, but in the world of today, I feel like we're dealing with real scenarios. I've never been in a relationship and had a baby, but I've been with a woman. I've hurt a woman. I've had to go back to make amends with the woman, and I've had to do things that maybe I wasn't comfortable with, but it wasn't about me in that moment. And you have to be able to put another person's feelings, their emotional needs, the things that they may want, you know, within reason. Because sometimes, like I say, this right here is one of them situations where because Jax is a lawyer, she knows the jargon, the conversation, how to have those conversations when you have it. And that's where partnership, compromise, sacrifice, understanding, compassion, all these different things come from when you have a person that actually loves you the way that they do. And I was going to ask you, Jazz, is there a world with your mind today where you would allow your man to stay the night with his mistress to give her closure?
so if this is somebody that I love and I trust, and we have a conversation, and he guarantees me nothing physical is going to happen. And this is like him going there, giving me that guarantee is going to pretty much remove all the bullshit that we're dealing with because going to, being sued and all of that. And the kids don't know nothing about this. So it
Yeah,
was
there's so many there
the
are so
the
many
writing.
layers we want to get into on this. Like I don't
The
even want to talk, I don't even want to talk about that young king yet. I feel like
yeah.
I need to save him for last because there's some this story overlaps with that because Jax got her shit off in the midst. Like, oh, okay, so you on fuck shit? Not necessarily saying Jax was on fuck shit, but Jax she kind of got a her lick back at the same exact time. I was trying to understand something in the last episode, and then on the rewatch, I was like, I understand. I understand why he's acting this way.
Oh, you're gonna have to
I under
tell me. I might have
I
missed
under
that.
I understood why Lewis was acting that way towards Corey. At first, I didn't understand. I was like, why he tripping? Like, I feel like he was being kind of like jealous, standoffish a little
Right.
bit. But then when he found out he was getting engaged, he was like, oh shit! Now, then he shook his
I ain't
hand.
gotta worry about you no more. Because I mean, Corey did spend the night at the house, but
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That he left and he was like, wait, them niggas is up in my house, in my shit.
listen,
I mean,
I
you had to go. You was over there with your bitch. You
I'm
was with your bitch.
I'm going to be honest, and I feel like we do sometimes give credit to the writers. We give them their kudos, but I feel like we don't do it loud enough. And let me not just say you, I will definitely say I do not give the writers, when it comes to a lot of movies and stuff that we enjoy that's written very well, to give kudos to the writers. So to the past reviews that we've done to where we loved it, I apologize and I want to give y'all kudos. Jazz, it's a new day, and I'm going to start giving praise to the writers, because the writers in this season, they were motherfucking big mama cooking. Everybody involved.
Mm-hmm.
But to answer your question, um, you had asked me, shit, what was, I'm sorry. It was,
Is there a world where you
oh,
would
so
have the
yes, yes, yes. If I had that level of trust in him and he guarantees me nothing physical is going to happen, and then him being there that night and with him providing updates through his phone, then yes. Yes.
Okay, I can see that.
What
I
about
can see
you?
that. I'm I guess I said that in the previous review. I'm a bit too understanding in certain situations. So yeah, I definitely, I know how niggas are. Um in most cases, and I do feel like in most cases it's the man, not the woman. Um
That's
but
trying to
yeah,
get close?
there's going to try some shit. Yeah, I do think
You don't,
I think I'm
I,
not saying I don't think women wouldn't because but I think more men would try. I could trust women more than I can trust men in
Jason,
that.
no, no, don't
No?
trust none of them. Neither side is able to be trusted. Trust a
uh
dog, but you don't like animals.
don't not really.
Mm.
Not really. But I enjoyed this storyline. Um and I was like, okay, so they concluded that they got it wrapped up, pretty well with that. But there were some residuals that was left
It was
from this
leftovers on the
story.
plate.
So they was able to, and them even being able to just allow that to play out more, which it ties into the Naima, I can't even say her name.
Whose name?
What's what the daughter name?
We'll just call it a daughter. Naima?
Naima, Naima.
Oh
So
shit, yes.
Naima, season two, she was just kind of acting out because she felt as if she wasn't receiving attention in the storyline. So it was interesting to see where she would be because we know Spencer was leaving, which I wanted to see his character a bit more, but he always just looked like like an owl, he's shocked or scared whenever he's he'll be looking like he just be looking like
Stop. Stop.
I
I
fuck
will,
with Spencer.
I mean, he definitely wasn't really in this season that much.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely got a lot of Spencer last season. So I'm glad Naima was able to get more.
Mm-hmm.
But I I absolutely, when I see parents like Jackson Lewis, it makes me think, I feel like that's the kind of parent that I would be if I was in that situation. To where your teenage daughter coming in the house over here slamming doors, and you like, I know that bitch didn't, and then you like, oh shit, hold on. Don't, let me not call my daughter a bitch. But nah, that bitch should not be slamming doors. So like, you're looking at this and you just kind of could relate to the characters of like, that's what a black mama would say.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you look at a lot of situations and you just like, oh my goodness. But again, I'm going to praise the writers a lot throughout this episode. So be prepared. the writers, the actors, it was just so in sync. But with us getting more of her and then her having her conflict of the shoplifting incidents, and I'm just like, why are you hanging out with these white girls? And they just they ran and you caught with the police. But you understand why. And when Lewis had that moment of, do I tell her? I understood why he didn't in that moment. And his, like, how did you feel about Lewis's um consistency with getting reassurance from Jax? Because he got reassurance from her a lot through different things outside of things that involved her father, because he wanted her father to step up. But yeah. But how did you feel about the reassurance where he went back to her like, well, I didn't want to say anything until kind of he had a conversation with her? Because to me, it felt like that is what partnership looks like. Like Jackson Lewis shows so much very great partnership that you want to have in a marriage, but some might see it as he went to her too much. But I don't know. Like, how did you perceive it?
Um, I think based on who Lewis kind of was in the beginning, he was just doing things. He was just doing things, kind of flying off the handle with certain situations because that's we get introduced to them, they're split. They're split up. And he wanted to split because he felt as if she was working too much. So now he's accepted her doing her job, her being on her shit, and him being the husband. Um, and taking care, he was working to see her taking care of things. She just was the bigger earner in the house, and she's just super busy. She's a high profile lawyer. She does cases that get a lot of media attention. So him coming to his wife just to get that reassurance, I didn't feel a problem with that. I think that us as men have to be able to look into our significant others to make sure we're not just flying off the hinge. Oftentimes, I mean, being a man, I know people look at us as if, hey, you're the man, you should bear the responsibility, you should be able to. But sometimes it's like, hey, not everything. If I don't have to bear all of this by myself, why wouldn't I want to share this with somebody or the person that I love? Because it's not going to just whatever I do at this moment, it's not going to just affect me. And we've seen that when Jax went out with her homegirls and they had a conversation, and she said, "I don't know what Naima is thinking because she's looking at me as a woman. How do I explain to her I allowed my husband to do X, Y, Z?" And we understand you can't allow a person's gonna do what they're gonna do, but how do you convey how do you convey season one of reasonable doubt to a 10-year-old, to an 11-year-old, to a how do you convey that to a shit damn near the 18? You damn near me and you can barely comprehend what the hell they was doing. So how you gonna explain it to your kid?
Right.
But you have to figure that part out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because then she was also just like, I don't want her to look at me differently. Because that's
mm-hmm.
something that parents definitely have to deal with, of these decisions that I'm making, and my child is seeing all of this. And they're also seeing how I react to it. And so I just, yeah, this, it was flames and smoke coming out of the pen as the writers were doing their thing this season,
So
because it was a lot.
So with that, that makes me want to just ask if you have one. What was your favorite? Um, damn, they're your favorite read of the season? Because there was quite a few that I was looking. I was like, I know it's kind of hard to put you on the spot.
Yeah,
Um,
that's one. That's a question you send 48 hours before we record. So
um,
the one that pretty much comes to mind for me is when Jax's homegirl, who caught a body last season, told her, when Jax told her that her mother has cancer, and she was upset that her mother did not tell her, but that she told her father. And Jax was upset about that.
Mm-hmm.
Jax is just like, why is he kind of carrying this weight for you and he hasn't been around? And her friend told her, she said, I'm not agreeing with your mother, but that is probably one of the most selfless things she's ever done. And I was like, in that scene, just thinking to myself, hopefully I don't get too emotional, but because she was just like, imagine you telling your daughter or having to tell your daughter that you have this illness. You wouldn't want to do that because you know it brings her pain. You don't want to do anything that's going to bring your child pain, like carrying that. Because she said, it's easy for you to say what you're going to do in a situation that you're not in. But then once you're in that situation, you don't know how you're going to react. Because she mentioned what she did last season. She said, there are so many things that I could have done in that situation, but her parental guard went up, her defenses went up. But she said, I have to do whatever I need to do to protect my child. And I was just like, oh my God, like smoke coming from the pen, Jason, because I'm just like that right there. And then the actress that portrayed that monologue in that, because it showed so much, because with them coming together, and I love how they also spotlight sisterhood in this, and the ladies hold each other accountable. But in that scene, that's the one that definitely comes to mind because I was just like, that is tough. Like I can understand Jax being upset because like when my parents, I get upset when they don't pick up their phones. So if anything were to come up and I don't hear about it, or I'm like, why am I finding out weeks later? I would be upset, but it's just like they know the kind of pain that that news brings. So it's like they're still trying to protect you. So,
Yeah.
do you have a
Yeah.
favorite monologue or a read? Excuse me.
Whew, man, it was two other ones that stuck out. Man, it was quite a bit. Jax was reading niggas all season for real. Um, when she got on Ozzie because she found out he was hiding Wendy, that was a good one because he faked as if he didn't know who she was because he didn't tell Wendy that they was trying to not to get her to do an NDA. That was a good one. Um, I really, I like the way Eddie read Lewis when he pulled up on him.
I didn't like it because I'm like, no, that's Jack's husband. Don't talk to Jack's husband like that.
He
But he
wasn't
did read
supposed to
him.
pull up on him. He wasn't supposed to pull up on him like that. Like
Oh,
that was very disrespectful, especially considering that, and that's more, and I think that speaks to why he always went to Jax for reassurance because that was disrespectful for him to go behind her back after they had the conversation. In that now we gonna get on Mama Lou. We gonna get on her motherfucking ass. They should have killed her this season. I'm not gonna even lie to you. Sent her to Denzel. Pack her ass up.
that is
Gone.
Denzel's
And
wife. But
and Autumn, is it Autumn or Sherelle? Whoever is the one that put her house up for the thing. I don't like that. I don't like that storyline either. Not necessarily the storyline. I don't and I don't know, maybe you can help me understand if I'm not being reasonable. But for me to be the person that's very understanding, I could never understand that. And we gonna need some space before we get back. Before we get back, and I know it's probably been a year at least, but that ain't enough time for me to lose my house. I done worked my life to get for me to just be like, bro, we gonna have to slow roll this back together. There can be some real conversations that can be had, but man,
so the fact that Lewis didn't have locks last season, but he now has locks this season and they're long, I'm going to say at least 2 to 3 years have passed.
it was like
He didn't have no locks last season.
he didn't, but it's like a year and a half. It was like a year and a half in the show because it from when it happened
His locks long, Jason.
to like.
Lewis locks his long. Trust me,
But
at
so
least
I'm
two
saying, but I
years.
guess, but I'm okay. So when they did, and that's the other thing I'm looking at. So when did he like? I
We
don't
did
like
we didn't even see
because
him
he
start his lock journey, Jason.
That's what I'm gonna say.
So
I'm saying, but he didn't have. But when they
he had no
record
hang
this,
time.
when they record this
So
shit,
a
like,
piece of me feels like they're extensions.
yeah, maybe.
So with his character, I think it had to be at least 2 years. Like we missed his struggle stage. A piece of me kind of want to say three, because Spencer looks older as well. Let's just say for the conversation,
Kids, but they kids though. They just do
what?
weird
No,
shit.
no, they do, but black kids don't do weird shit of growing like white kids. So let's
Wait,
just
you seen them look them little black kids in the Stranger Things? Them niggas look like them niggas adults.
Stranger Things took a 6.5 year break. That is not the same. Let's just say 3 years pass.
Okay.
All right. So damn. Well, I lost you in this. Oh, I see you
You
back.
can't see me?
I see you back.
Oh, I
Wait,
put my
where were we
headset
going
on.
with this of how much time would pass?
Oh, that part we was talking about the dread thing, but I was going back to what's the free we were talking about the reads who
Oh
got
shit, the
read the
house.
most.
Okay, the
The house,
friend.
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so
And I
if
was trying to see, yeah.
if at least 3 years pass, they should have went to therapy to get all that hashed out. Not saying things should be better after 3 years, but there should definitely be a dialogue to where are we going to get back together or are we not? Because us just having sex and I'm in limbo. Like, was she in limbo for 3 years? Sis, absolutely not. I'm nobody
Okay,
should
so
sit in
you
limbo for 3 years, even if it is with your husband.
I know you're saying 3 years, but
You're gonna try
okay,
to
so
cut it.
time
You're gonna
I'm,
say one
I'm,
and a
saying-
half.
I'm saying that's exactly what I feel to say. So I think time does matter. So I'm gonna say if it's 3 years, I'm 100% with you. Come on, bro. You something. You gotta make a move in that. Like you got to be over that if it's 3 years. But you know who can't talk to me about a motherfucker about that? You know who can't talk to me about a house
She not
or
talking to
me in a
him about
relationship?
the house, but she just saying like, "What's up?"
I'm saying you know who can't talk. You know who can't talk to me about that?
What? Who?
The bitch that went on the run.
No, nah.
There's no conversation she can ever have with me
I
about anything.
Does it make me a bad friend if I'm sitting here like I probably would not have done that behind my husband back? I just
It's Jazz. Why would you put your house up again? They had a conversation about it, and he was like, "We
yeah, he
can't.
told her
Like,
no.
I want to help. I want to do what I can, but that's too much. I can't do that. And for you to do it, lie about it,
And then she
hide it,
went on the fucking run for her nigga. Jason, it wasn't even for her. So like what you know what? I would understand if he wanted to divorce me. Actually, I would let him just continue to fuck me for 5 more years because, like, yeah, that was a fumble.
okay, so then I'm looking at that like, okay, so yes, I understand you want to be married, you want to XYZ, but you fucking with this nigga on the low. Or do you think the cousin knew? Do you think she knew that they were still messing around on the low? Or did she just tell Jax?
I think she just told Jax, which is wild because she tried to come at Jax with on some shit, and it's just
I,
like you told
I,
Jax for a reason. You didn't tell everybody else. So why are you throwing all this shit in Jax's face, talking about you you judgy and all this other stuff? If I'm so judgy, why are you telling me this then? I'm not telling
and I don't,
the friend out of the group who judges everybody my business. That's the person that gets my business the least. The one that's quick to judge.
and I don't think Jack should have apologized. That took a lot. That took a lot because there's no way I'm apologizing to her about what. I ain't saying nothing crazy. It was the thing of you telling me what, because I in that situation I would have been. I guess the only thing she could have did was hold space for her to be like, okay, so now are you telling me to respond, or are you just telling me to be telling me? Because I mean, I've been in situations where people. You tell me like, no, why am I telling people that what's the point of me telling people what we doing it? I mean, I do, and that's you. And why are you doing? And why are you telling people that we, fucking on the low? This nobody business. It's on the low.
Yeah. I it's
Yeah,
I
she's a
guess
wild good, but her character is a wild card though, because we see how she ended up.
I do not think that's going to pan out well. And I thought we were going to see the results of that this season, but it's probably going to be in next season. But I do not see that panning out well. Like, and Jax is going to tell you, I told you so.
I can't wait for that. Ooh, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that Joker to get that wild card, boy. Cause like, bro, what?
What did you think about Joseph, who is I don't know why I
Tommy,
have him as it's Tommy from Power. Is his name Tom in this?
his name is Bill.
Bill, okay. Because I'm why my black ass got Tom as his name on my on my notes.
It's
But
his
what did
character.
no, I was gonna
Go
ask you
ahead,
what
go
you
ahead.
think about his
What you gonna say?
character.
It's so hard seeing him in power, and then seeing him be this bitch in this show. It's a very stark contrast to what I'm used to. So it's a unique dynamic that I'm looking at with this character. But he's such a kiss ass, such a kiss ass. But he only a kiss ass at work. It's not he don't kiss ass at home where he need to be kissing the ass at.
Because he's too busy kissing ass at work. But
Yeah. So
I don't trust his character. I didn't trust his character at all in this. Every time it seemed like he was being sympathetic to Jax, I did not trust him. Like I just wasn't sure when Jax told him that her mother has cancer. A piece of me wanted to think, is he being sympathetic? Is this genuine? Or is this all a fake? I wasn't
it's
sure.
I think everything he did was he had an ulterior motive throughout the entire situation. Um, and I will say one thing I loved or enjoyed a lot about I love about the show is how they weave the music in and how the music tells the story itself as well.
Mm.
Um, when watching this show, if you don't know, each episode title is a Jay-Z song. Every title is a Jay-Z song. So it kind of tells a story within those songs and it kind of lets you know what may or possibly alluding to in the episode. And when we meet Bill, say hello to the bad guy, it comes on. And
Mhm.
that's the song that's just playing. So we kind of know who Bill is, which is funny. Every season the person that works with Jax is the person that's always trying to stab her in the back, with the exception of Corey. Now, her and Corey kind of clashed, but I felt as if that was sexual tension more so than them not agreeing. Now, they didn't agree because Corey, most people are looking for the easy out. If I can get the plea deal, I can do X, Y, Z. Woo, woo, yes. Now, Jax, a lot of her stuff comes from trauma. She likes the rush. She needs that adrenaline that comes from those cases. And Corey told her when she went to his um, award ceremony for getting her friend off that she didn't get acknowledged for, which episode one laid out so much groundwork for what the season was going to be. And if you go back and watch, you just like, oh my God, I'm all this stuff is like in my face. And this, from but I knew one thing I knew that was going to happen in this season before we got to the end is Jax is leaving this law firm. I knew that before we even got to the end because I was like, they kind of hoeing her and
It
they
was
just keep on hoeing her. They
it was
keep on playing with
heavy.
her.
It was heavy in this season. Because like I was championing it mid-season, but I wasn't exactly sure where it was gonna go. But I was just like, we're seeing him too much. Now, I didn't do a rewatch of the first two seasons prior to watching this, but I don't
Mhm.
remember seeing her colleagues outside of Corey as much as we saw them in this season, which had me thinking like she might end up leaving. Because you got this white hoe over here talking about, oh, you think you can do whatever you want. Bitch, you're out of here.
Mhm.
And it was just so much stuff in the background. And I was just like, nah, Jax, you gotta go. Especially when my name is on the motherfucking building.
Mhm.
And so, and that was like something definitely mentioned when we was on the Talking Ish podcast amongst friends of how you can be at the top of your game, bringing them all the money, being the one funding the fucking building, and they will still try to treat you as if you are a motherfucking peasant. And it's astonishing to me because you just like you have a successful lawyer on her shit taking these cases. You are still second guessing her when she is handling business. It's like it's never good enough. And the fact that they weren't heavy-handed on it, but the way that they had it, they weaved it in the story. As I was watching it, I'm talking back to the TV screen. I'm over here like, hell yeah, Jax. Like, oh no. I'm over here like, I know y'all not doing Jax like that. Over here acting like she a motherfucking intern. And her
But
name is on the Jason. Imagine your name is on the building of a business that is successful, and the motherfucking intern is over here looking at you saying, you act like you can do whatever you want.
and I appreciate them showing that she was able to compartmentalize work and her dad issues because they were separate issues. Because Lewis even asked, he said, "You are you tripping, or is it just you like you getting mad at, or is it just your dad's situation?" She's like, "Oh no, 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 they ain't got nothing to do with what's going on at work. They being some bitches when I get back in that job. It ain't got shit to do with that. The job is being crazy." Which on the flip side, Lewis is dealing with some job issues as well, which is crazy. When that was like, we can't just keep giving them niggas flowers, Jazz. No more. We cannot keep
Oh,
giving these niggas
which
flowers,
niggas?
man. We,
I'm getting the writers are getting their flowers today.
we can't just keep giving them the flowers like this.
No, Jason.
Cause
So
that was a you because I was interested in seeing where it went. Now the way this season ended, I thought it was going to be him that did it. Now that's where I was wrong at. I thought it was going to be him that how this season ended. I thought it was going to be him that did that because I was
the
like,
murder?
huh?
You talking about the Lewis's coworker that did the murder?
No, but how it ended. Monica shooting somebody. I thought it was going to be him because he was on bullshit the entire season.
Them light skins. You know he listened to Drake.
Bruh, that shit blew my mind. That nigga was fucking off that hard.
So I I want to say this, like with Lewis being a programmer, a
Ooh.
coder,
I said I
like
can't wait to get jazzed on this.
so with Lewis being in that field, even though Jax is the breadwinner, and that's another reason why I feel like her father came at him crazy. Programmer is not no, they make money.
Mm-hmm.
That's a six-figure position.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he got people working under him. So that means that lets you know how much money Jax is bringing in, like a successful lawyer, like you said. So for her husband to be a programmer, a manager, he like them niggas is making money. Two successful black individuals. Now, when he came in talking about, oh, like because when you see different black coders or people in that space, you were just drawn to them because it's not that many. And I
Mm-hmm.
understood Lewis's energy towards him, like, oh, somebody that looks like me. I'm in this management position. He's coming in here. We can connect and we can just vibe. His excitement, because I've been in those situations where I'm like, oh, there's another QA, black QA. Oh, we gonna vibe. We gonna immediately magnetic energy. And it doesn't always work out that way. But I do feel like it's really important that they spotlighted the type of situations of when you have somebody that is black in a management position, that you will have individuals that are skin folk that will end up kind of fucking you over. Because I guess it's a situation of when you're in that position and you coming in, you like, oh, I got a black manager. I know all the kind of things to say to them to try to get that leeway. Because there's some of them are tough, but then you have some that's like very, like we cool. But that entire storyline, I felt bad for Lewis, but I like by the second time I said Lewis, he is really screwing you over. I was like, he is screwing you. Before he even said, my girl just had a baby, all this, I'm like, oh, this nigga is lying.
We not even we Jazz. We don't even get that far.
Was it the coding to where he said, I don't really know how to do C sharp, but or was it because the thing is like when he said, and this might for anybody who doesn't know coding language, I'm sorry, but it's covered in the show a little bit. But when he said, I'm not really good with C sharp plus or C plus plus, excuse me. And I'm sitting here like, coding is not easy to learn. That shit is very hard to learn. So when he said it's very tough, I didn't think it was going to be this difficult. I said, damn, I know that feeling. But then I'm like, you probably said you knew how to do that during your application process, and which is why they hired you. Now, for you to sit up here and be like, I'm learning, taking extra courses as a manager, that shows that person is taking the initiative. So I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
give them some leeway because I'll say for my current job, I did learn SQL during my interview process to get to the next interview. And I made sure to say that. And he was like, oh, for real? That probably was got me the job. But anyway, but no, like I felt so bad for Lewis because he was being so genuine, but this daggone Drake loving light skinned nigga with locks just took advantage of him.
We're gonna stop putting that shit on Drake,
Jason, you
first off.
know his Spotify rap has Drake at the top.
But
You
but
know.
then the thing that got me though is like forget we can because we don't know until we know. And when we know is when Lewis has to get rid of him. And in front of the boss, this nigga flips it on Lewis's head and makes it Lewis's fault. Because
Oh,
Lewis told him he gonna have to learn. You gotta learn this to get it together to figure it out. This nigga was just in the building, walking around, eating, drinking, and talking about hoes on Plenty of Fish or whatever, whatever,
app they
social media
using.
dating
Yeah, I don't
app
know.
he uses.
I use Bible Mingle. But nah, yeah, he was like, oh, so I don't gotta do that extra training. And it was just like, but I do love the fact that Lewis was keeping track of all of these incidents because that's what you have to do. As somebody that's in a management position, if you have somebody who is not pulling their weight and you like, oh yeah, they gonna end up being up out of here soon. You have to have a paper trail.
You do. I've definitely been in a situation. I've talked to you about different things. When you get into management, you start thinking about a person's personal life, and that can't. You got to check that shit at the door. You're here to work. You're here to deliver. You said you was able to. You haven't given any doctor's excuses or notes as to why you can't perform your job. Bitch, you could lose this job if you don't get it together. And yes, that paper trail is how you one cover your own ass, but also you hold them accountable for what they said they can do and they are not doing.
Right.
And he thought he was just going to coast. in this job. And it's like, bro, you don't have to work my ass. This nigga is up at night. And Jack's like, damn, you get your laptop open. It's 10 o'clock. What you? Oh, so you doing work. He chilling, huh? Oh, okay.
No, I'm not gonna lie. If I was Lewis, that would have been my 13th reason. Yo, your wife is telling you, like, she put that mirror up. Like, oh, so you out here working extra hours while your employee isn't. And you pick, that's that fuel. Like, she was instigating though. But
She said, you said, I'm going to tell that motherfucker I ain't never scared. He said, well, I love you talk that thug shit, baby. What's up? What's up?
I saw that. I was like, Spider-Man meme. That's what I'm talking about, Jax. But nah, I I enjoyed that storyline in this. I'm glad they gave Lewis something else outside of Toni. Granted, it's just like he dealing with his own shit. Like it was definitely personal and professional where he was dealing with obstacles, but it was on two different scales. So I thought that was dope.
Mhm. Mhm. Um, Mama Lou.
Mm.
Sorry, guys, if you listening, had to give me a good inhale, exhale. So I, a lot of these situations are real. A lot of these situations are real. I've definitely been in a. I don't want to say. Don't want to put that on my mom. Possibly. But I've definitely been in situations where people will tell my business, tell stuff that's going on with me, stuff that I'm dealing with, stuff that I'm facing, but they will not. They never will mention the things. They won't tell the whole story. They just tell the part of the story that's interesting to them or whatever the situation was. And in this season, Mama Lou was overstepping, in my opinion, based on one, her child, two, a relationship, three, because you have forgiven the man you were in love with, you can't force me to be okay with the person that hurt me. Because this is something that I've been dealing with. And I even forgot that he was in the first season. When we never seen him, it was just text messages. But then he ghosted her. The mama kept keeping her from away from him. Now she's trying to force it. Force it so much that she's brought this man in your house with your kids. No respect, no boundaries, no conversation, nothing. And now you would have it, and one would possibly be told that the once the grandparent has the kids, or the kids are with them, they can do or they can handle it how they want to. But there has to be some kind of line of respect amongst the kid and the parent before you just throw a situation in there. Now it did benefit them, but on the flip side of that is where's the respect in that situation? Because I forgot that Jax was sexually abused, which is what allowed her to be able to um, relate to Ozzie when we got into the story.
Yeah.
Uh,
I I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I was going to ask you what did you think about it, but it sounded like you were taking.
Nah, I agree with you. I like looking at her story, she definitely had me shaking my head and upset with her character because why is he here? You know how I felt about this, but you ignored that. And so I understand you are the grandparent, but I mean, shit, like you said, Chasing, you ain't leaving nothing on the plate, my nigga. I don't have anything to add to that. Like, it's definitely disrespectful, and it's just she was definitely out of line. And so, and she didn't take any accountability. But
Zero.
we see that when it comes to Black individuals around that age group. I'm sorry, but we know the elders don't like to take accountability. I mean, that's everybody know that, right?
I've been told by my elders, I'm growner than you.
So that
I'm,
means
I'm gonna say, bitch,
you.
bitch, I'm that.
Well, don't call him a bitch. But just because you're, but my thing is, if you are older than me, shouldn't you be wiser than me? Shouldn't you be able to hold yourself accountable? Why is everybody afraid of accountability? Accountability is fun. Like I,
It can be if you have the mindset for that. But
I mean, I
like if
get
you don't
that.
have, but like for her, it was just, and for her, I guess it was she had the most extreme wild card in this situation because for her it was the life may be ending soon. So for me, I'm doing I'm doing things that'll fix this because if I'm out of here, what happens once I'm gone? Life too short, yada 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 yada. Nah, nigga, do it the right way, do it the proper way.
Right. I feel like a diagnosis shouldn't trigger you to do that. But I know that's easier said than done. I know it's easier to tell somebody you need to mend those fences or whatever because life is so short while I'm sitting over here with broke fences behind me. I know it's easier to
Don't
tell
worry about
somebody
that. Don't look at my yard, bitch.
that.
Don't
That shit,
don't worry about my bitch.
my car is blocking that fence you talking about that's broke. But it's easier to definitely tell somebody to do something when you are ignoring your own fixes or things that you need to take care of. And so, like the way that they had her story, I was just like, I was upset with her the first half of this. But then we learn that she is sick. And then we get that flashback, which is one of the most powerful episodes, I believe, in this season when Jax and her father, and you see the relationship they had when she was younger, and you see what her mother did. And so then I fall into the thought of we always now I'll say this for myself. Like it took me a long time as I was growing up to be like, do my parents be wrong in situations? And then once I got to that point to where it's just like, Jazz, they was figuring shit out too during that time. So they got some shit wrong and they got some shit right. Thankfully, they got more shit right than they did wrong. And so it's just like they're going to make their mistakes. And so that's when I looked at Mama Lou. She did have her mistakes. Unfortunately, she did not take accountability, but I feel like Jax was able to learn so much from her and she tried to protect Jax as much as she could.
Mm-hmm.
Because for your child, for you to walk into your home and see your child watching cartoons and your husband is OD'd on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And around that time, there was no therapy. Black folks wasn't getting no therapy. They wasn't talking to anybody about that trauma. That's just shit that they held in them. And when you saw that scene, when you had baby Jax over here, like, where's the gift daddy got me? I think I that was another scene where tears came out. And her mama, it was because Jax thought it was his guitar pick, but it was a piece of the spoon that he got high with. And you saw Mama Lou react to that because she knew what it was, but Jax didn't. And I'm sitting here like, y'all motherfuckers was the fire alarm went off as they were writing the season because it was so smoke coming from those pins. Because it was fire, Jason. It was fire. I said, "Oh my goodness." I it was ooh, but
Yeah. Um, and I like that they treated addiction as a sickness
yeah.
in this because it truly is. It changes the physical look of a person. It changes the brain chemistry of a person. It creates bad habits. It creates it's a loss. Sometimes it can be a loss of life. Um it can be just a loss of a person. Not necessarily they don't may not physically be lost, like lost of life, but that person that they once was, you no longer see that person no more. That light that they had is dim. In this story, which um in this season, of course, we get introduced to Eddie for the first time. Um, and I'm it's still kind of hard to see who Eddie was, but one thing I do love about Jax is throughout the season, she began to set boundaries. And it was like a very clear, very understood thing that she was doing that I appreciated. Um, because like I said, it was like I said, the Eddie story was kind of up and down, up and down. Um, but her taking him to the city morgue to have a conversation with him, saying at one point I just knew I was gonna get that call and you was gonna be here. When I seen like this is where I was gonna find you, and I was like, damn, come the fuck on. What are y'all doing?
Trying to make you cry. Trying to make you cry. Mission accomplished.
um, and like I said, Eddie was like I said. I mean, we know Eddie is a complicated person because one thing I love, which you can see it in Ozzie. He was saying, it's so because she was trying to get an understanding of addiction, and she said it's so easy to leave a person broken than to have them as a whole person. So of course we're gonna give them the drugs. Of course we're gonna feed these vices to keep them, to a certain point. But we'll never let you get all the way healed because that's gonna, mess up something. So yeah.
I do think the way that they had Ozzie's storyline or his I guess profession and the things that he was battling and Eddie's storyline to where they were both dealing with addiction. They were both in, even though two different entertainment businesses, because you had one music and one acting, but they were still dealing with addiction and people around them feeding into their addiction. And so I thought that was very interesting. I realized that on my rewatch.
Mhm.
But now Eddie's character, I'll be honest, I loved a lot of the storylines in this. I probably loved all of them except the
For
sister
Eddie.
storyline.
Yeah. So her, I mean, so like I with her, we still trying to figure out because I don't know. I don't understand her angle. Is it to because when she came to him, she's asking for the money. But then when she went to Jax, it's he's looking for the money. So I don't know if it's I don't know if they're doing that for us or they doing that for doing that for us because we're watching it or she's doing that to him to make him seem. But if you know what you're looking to do with your daughter, you shouldn't allow anything to get involved in that. And I understand, I've seen it where I'm like, I mean, I ain't gonna say I'm like Jax, but I understood where the sister Lori Harvey uh was coming from with wanting to know her sister. Because if your family if you have siblings out there, you want to know who these people are. Like I said, I just recently went to my great grandmother's funeral. She had 9 children. Them niggas had kids. Them niggas got kids. I don't know these people. So of course you want to know who your family is because you got family out there and it's just random people. They random people to you. But this family at the same exact time. So you want to know them, but you can't be manipulative um, in those circumstances. And if Eddie knew what the situation was, why you have to be the one that be, forthcoming. He paying out the kids to get information and to learn shit. So you same exact thing with the daughter. Like, no, that's not for me. It's not for you. In that we gonna deal with that, how we deal with it, and you let her know. And it was interesting seeing how Lewis was dealing or handling that situation because I did feel like he was doing a bit much. following and keeping up with Eddie, but I understood him trying to protect his wife. Because that at the end of the day, that's the most important thing in that situation. I'm trying to protect her from whatever you may do, because whatever happens in this situation, it ends with me.
Yeah. And I thought it was cool where Eddie told him, he was like, just protect Jax. He said, this is me protecting Jax. And he slammed the door in his face. I said, just go jump on him, Jax. He's being a great husband.
Oh, I'm so. Where does Jax like? It's kind of hard. I don't know how to ask that question, but because you have like Annalise Keating, which is Viola Davis, you got Olivia Pope, which is
She's not a lawyer, but she's
she she was like a I don't know
a
what she was
fixer.
like.
She was a fixer.
She was a fixer. So my actual question was, where does Jax land in this lore of the black women?
Oh,
Like,
so you said black women. Okay. Because I wasn't
yeah, the
sure if
look.
you were going to try to throw in Angela in there from Power, but she's not black. So
She's
don't have to
definitely
worry
not.
about her.
I definitely. It wasn't a lawyer conversation at all. It was
Oh,
just
okay.
based on women leads in shows. Like, where does she land? Because everybody, not everybody, but How to Get Away with Murder was a staple. Everybody wanted to run to that show when it was out. It was a prime time show. Um, Everybody was running to
Scandal.
Scandal
Yeah.
when it was a thing. But where does Jax land in this lore of these things for you? Not necessarily what the people would say, but for you.
So for me and how this show is, I'm shocked that it doesn't get as much attention that it deserves. Like, I feel like this series should be one of the ones where people are talking about it weekly. Like people on socials, like how we were with Insecure, how we were with P
Mm-hmm.
Valley, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Snowfall. Like,
He
it's
valid.
so shocking to me that
What is that?
don't do that. But it's so shocking to me that this show is not one of the ones where everybody is talking about it and tweeting about it. I'm curious, is it because it's not getting promoted like it should? But you have a season 4 coming, and we always talk about black shows getting canceled early. You have a
Mm-hmm.
black show that has a black woman lead who is dominant, who is successful, who is educated. All the stuff that a lot of us want to see in these projects. Now, it might just be where my algorithm is. Maybe my algorithm is not on the lawyer side or the Jack side or reasonable doubt. That it might not be over there. So
I've been,
I
I've
might
been,
be
I've
missing
been,
something.
I've been sending you clips to try to get that into your algorithm
I
because it comes
got to.
across mine.
It
It
comes
comes
across
across mine.
yours a lot.
I see people talk
Okay.
about it all the time. Like I've had people that when it comes out, they watching, they live tweeting and things of that nature. But maybe we could create a culture
Okay. Right.
around when season 4 comes out, just like a live tweet or a live IG, something that
Yeah,
could get that or get people going because it's a great show.
it is.
A
Because I
black
know
couple. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off because I know, like, with past conversations with Chappelle from Recap Kickback, because he was talking about doing the first 2 seasons. Well,
Mm.
shit, 3. And so he was like talking about, discussing those. And I was just like, yeah, but he got to catch up. I don't think Chappelle is caught up, but he might be. But last time I spoke to him, he was not caught up. But I mean, this should be one of the ones, but obviously, okay, so I'm missing out. So my algorithm is in the toilet. Okay.
It's just missing this. It's there's so many different. Every week there's a new TV show, the new
Right.
popular thing. I don't even see Abbott really on my algorithm no more, but I know it's still coming. I actively look at Abbott every week.
Right.
Um, so it's just one of them things, and I think where this show misses, not the show itself, but I think where it misses um worldly is it's on Hulu, so that does benefit. but it's on Onyx. I feel like if it was on a primetime station like a ABC or NBC or a
Yeah.
Fox, I think it would benefit a lot more in those.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Corey more it's just so a lot of reasons why we don't really get him so much is because he has his own show. He leads the show. And you can't from what I've heard, you can't lead in two different shows. Or be
That
a
makes
lead in two
sense.
different shows. So that's why he's reserved for, the cameos and things that he does have when he comes in. So I do appreciate seeing him with Jax. What you was going to say, Jack?
No, I believe his show just got renewed, but I don't remember if it
Watson?
was Watson. Yes, it got renewed for season two.
Is it two or
Yes.
three? It should be two.
Yes,
Or is
it
it
got
three?
renewed for season two.
Shout out to him. And he's on the prime time. He's in the prime time slot. I
Mm.
think that's CBS if I'm not mistaken. Maybe just no, it should be CBS, like CBS Paramount.
Yes, it is CBS.
Yeah, so that's dope to
Mm.
see.
Lance Sullivan
Um,
looking Sullivan. Mm.
yeah, that's my guy. So if you had to, well, no, if you had to pick between Lewis and
Oh,
Corey,
Lance Sullivan slash Ricky, whatever his last name is. But I mean, Lewis looks good. So, okay, so we've been talking very serious and mature, but let's go down in the valley. I'm gonna give kudos to this show. They have really good sex scenes.
they be fucking.
They be fucking. And I'm
I,
like,
I don't know how you get that chemistry without hitting that at least once. At least once. Nick, I'm just, hey, so I
he
was
just did
tripping with the,
that. He just
I
did
was,
that. He just did that.
so I
Oh
was tripping when Ozzie called Shorty over. He was like, I've just been going through so much.
the Yo, let's get to mother. We're saving Ozzy for last. Let's get to motherfucking Ozzy. But before we get to Ozzy, because I think there is a lot of things to discuss there, we were talking about shows. Do you have any unsung black shows that you feel like that are, when I say black shows, I mean black led, black shows or miniseries that you think that has not gotten the spotlight it deserves? Now,
Mm,
for me, like off the top of my head, and it might be because my algorithm does not have these, but I feel like um The Jackal, Lashana Lynch didn't get as much of a spotlight as it deserved. Of course, Fight
mm-hmm,
Night with Samuel L.
mm-hmm.
Jackson, Taraji didn't get enough of a spotlight. And the other one is, oh shit. I feel like I had a third, but if it comes to me, I'll mention it later. But do you have any shows that black led that you just like, I'm not seeing enough people talk about this?
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't think black people talk about enough black shows. Just in my personal opinion, that's just an overall scope of things. You never really see people talk like you will catch little pockets of people talking about stuff. But like when the last time you really had like the engaging
Insecure,
conversations? Yeah, that's
Snowfall,
not
Snowfall.
snowfall, yeah, snowfall. And I don't feel like it got the recognition it should have gotten.
I mean, so, oh, because I haven't been on Twitter, but I would say Vince Staples' show just dropped, and we had a few people talking about that in our Discord. So that's one
Yeah,
that's a black led.
yeah. Which is funny because season two is very relevant to Ozzy in this,
Mm,
considering what his storyline was about.
mm.
But shout out to Vince Staples. Shout out to season two. I watched that. I feel like they need to give him, more love as well in it. I mean, the only show that's really getting the love and attention, I feel like is Abbott.
Oh, I was gonna say Welcome to Dairy, which I'm gonna go ahead and say right now is a black show. That is a black led show.
You think? I mean, it's a lot of black people in there.
And for a dairy to be a predominantly black town,
White.
yes, yep, that's the color. White. That's the color.
I agree. I agree. It's a lot going on in dairy, so I do appreciate dairy for sure.
I can't
Um,
wait for that review. That is going to be so much fun.
but yeah, I think that was that. But yeah, like I said, the sex scenes in this show, they're great. The music, how they intertwine it, one of my favorite scenes. Which I'm gonna ask you. One of my favorite scenes is um, were they waiting? I'm trying to see if there was no. I do love that scene too when they were trying to get it in before Naima came home. That was funny, but uh, it was the scene where they was having sex and The Way by Jill Scott played. Like that that was dope. But the way they did it was when they were being passionate, they were being loving, they were being intimate. It was the touching, it was the kissing, it was the rubbing, and then you just hear the music. And then when they got the fucking, it switched to the remake by Sweetie, and it was like, oh, what the god? This is a motherfucking transition. This is the type of shit I be doing. You go from you go. This is what you do. This is what you do. I'm gonna swoon my baby. I'm gonna lay her down. I'm gonna tear that ass up. I'm gonna tear that ass up. And then the beat gonna change now. Bow, bow, bow. I mean that, yeah. Then guess what they was doing? Fucking some sexy red, right? At one point, I think if I'm not mistaken, that was fucking a sexy red. Another scene that I liked a lot, which is we gotta get into Ozzie, but the reveal of the sexual abusing, and they intertwine the Drake song in it. I was
Ah,
when that beat dropped, I said, "Nigga, is that Drake?"
yep,
First off,
your antennas went up.
then the whole scene, I'm just like, "What, nigga?
Do you think it's a coincidence that they selected Drake for that particular moment?
Look what you've done." What are you saying?
Listen,
What are you alluding to?
you got a predator.
Wow. I hope not. I hope not.
Allegedly.
Yeah, yeah, I hope not. That's kind of crazy for them to
That
do because he has to clear that. But I mean, that's one way to look at that. But I do
they
think that
probably
was a
just
great.
said Brandy from P Valley is gonna walk to your song. Oh yeah. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. They say nothing else.
Hey,
Ah,
tell him what the situation was.
whew.
Yeah, no. That was yeah, no, that was dope. In there. Yeah, I can't complain. That was a scene. That was a scene. But
Ozzy.
um, Ozzy, man, shout out to I think Cal Berry is the name.
Cal Berry. Yes.
Um,
I want to say this.
Go
Now,
ahead.
when I first turned this on and we were introduced to Ozzy, this is safe space, right? No.
It's safe
So
fish.
I'm be honest, I could not look 84.2% of the time I could not look at anything but his lips. Couldn't look at nothing but his lips. And I
I
said,
get.
damn, that nigga, he got lips. Coming from somebody who got lips and I could identify lips, I said, yeah. I feel like even if he would have came in to rehearse, would have just been looking at his lips. But when I did my rewatch, I said, Jazz, zoom out and look at the full man, the full talent that is Kyle Berry.
He said, I'm looking
That
at this nigga
gentleman
lips all
right
the time.
there. You said what?
He said, I'm looking at this nigga lips. And he
That's all I
did.
could
He
see.
did. He did. He did. The whole time he was sitting
Listen,
there.
and he had a nice teeth. I said, put a foot in there. But no, the performance he was able to bring to us as Ozzy, I was on a roller coaster as to should I trust him? Is he lying? But I was just like, I know he's not the killer because that's
Yeah,
just I knew he
that would have been
wasn't
repetitive. That would have been repetitive to have
right.
him.
But I was like, you got scratches on you. Where'd they come from? You're making these suspicious phone calls, and I'm just like, I know what y'all are doing to me. You want me to look at him, but it's his sister, damn it. But no, like hit his outburst, his comments, and just expressing his trauma and his pain as he was showing us things that Ozzy went through. Give that man all of the flowers because he did an amazing job.
And I also want to shout out him, Lewis, and Morris Chestnut was on the show called Our Kind of People. I thoroughly, I really enjoyed that show. Definitely a lot of young black actors and things that was on there came out. I want to say during COVID, maybe after COVID, but I feel like that show was so expensive they didn't bring it back. But I would like to have seen that show continue. Um, it had, like I said, it had them three. I don't know if you know who Yaya was from American Next Top Model. She was the lead um, in that. But then you also had Papa Pope as the dad in that show who hated Morris Chestnut. So there was a battle between them two in there. And there was this show that used to be on BET with these two sisters and they two husbands. They was cool. They used to be hanging out and whatnot, but the sister was on there, so she's one of the leads in that show as well. But yeah, that was a really good show. I thoroughly enjoyed on there. Now Lewis had fucking dreads on that show, but he cut them
Mm.
on that show. So I don't know. He might be getting an extension somewhere or something. I don't think unless he cut them bitches and grew them back. I don't know. But Ozzy Ozzy Edwards, man, uh, he was faced with a lot. And a lot of stuff that Eddie kind of highlighted for us, we see within him. Um, just his interactions within the home. What did you think about the family dynamic with Ozzy and his family?
I It was frustrating. It was definitely frustrating because I'm just sitting here like I obviously his parents has been taking care of him his entire career, only giving him breadcrumbs of responsibilities, but also having his sister there to reassure them that he's on track, which doesn't help the sister because of course with him being successful, you're going to show favoritism. And so you see how that panned out with the sister, which is why I thought she was the killer. But the dynamic was so wild to me because obviously the mother was the one that was in control of everything. And especially when you got the whole sex tape situation. Like, oh, your father be fucking white women too. But we gonna do some AI work, put your girl face on hers. But also, so let me ask this because they had Ozzy watch that sex tape to identify who the dude was. Did they not know what his daddy looked like?
So he wasn't in the video. It was just his hand.
So they thought Ozzy would be able to identify the dude's
The dick.
hands. Hmm.
Yeah, they wanted him to identify that dick and the hand and maybe the voice at some point, but nah.
Would you, if you were Ozzy, would you have said, okay?
I would have had. At some point, you would have had to try, um, in that situation to see if you can pinpoint shit. He clearly he didn't get it right, right? He did. Or did
He
they
did.
tell him? He did, yeah.
I thought he got it right because, yeah, I thought he got it right. I don't, damn. Like, imagine you dating somebody, the love of your life, and then you get a mysterious DVD and it's a fake sex tape. Yo, how about
Man, Tony.
jokingly, I would have put Ozzie, but Ozzie didn't pull Ozzie. Yo,
You mean a murder?
I'm playing.
Yeah, nah, cause I was like, man. And like I said, when you on the rewatch and you look at it, Dad was tripping the whole time. Pops was hella tripping.
Caught a
Every
body.
time, every time anything went on, that nigga was the first person to speak, to jump up, to and just seeing his motivations and intent after, it was like, but this nigga was wilding the whole time, for
Yeah.
real. But the mama was too, because we see what she ended up doing at the end. Um, at the end of this, and like I said, I get it. They was being protective of him being with Wendy. But they definitely went about everything the wrong way.
Do you think Wendy was dealing with him just for his money?
No, I think she had good intent, good intentions for him. It just his family was actually manipulative, as she was saying, which I didn't appreciate them. That's one thing I didn't like, making a white woman be that dead right. I was just like, oh my God.
But I feel like technically she could have probably tried to help him remove their claws on him so she could put her claws in him. So it's just
So
like
you,
going
you thought
from one manipulation situation to another.
you thought she was trying to use him?
History shows probably.
I get it. I get it. Mm.
So, I mean, like, with him being the kind of starter he was, you have to understand why your family wanted you to protect yourself. Like, that shouldn't have even been a thought. But I understand Ozzy didn't really have too much critical thinking skills because of the situation that he was in. He was so dependent on others. Because my thing is, if you're dependent on others, why do you need critical thinking skills? Like, imagine your life to where you don't have those. That seems extremely scary to me, to where I'm just like, I don't need to think of scenarios or how to get out of them or anything like that because somebody beside me is going to do it for me.
Hmm.
That level of dependence, that's a fucking nightmare. But that's what he was living through. He didn't even know his passwords. Actually, that's not that wild. Sometimes that should be hard to remember. But like he didn't know addresses. It was just he depended on his sister for a lot, but she became
Yeah,
his crutch, which keeps her from living her own life. Like high key, his parents were trash.
super trash. Super, super trash. Even just them being able to move beyond at the end, they were super trash. But dad was more so, drowning in his because he was like, I lost my cash cow, god damn it. But
It's
um
it's sad because like I don't know if you watch the documentary Quiet on Set,
I
which
haven't.
it's a tough watch, but it pretty much goes into child stars that I believe were working on Nickelodeon and the things that they dealt with. And it's just like you think about what these child stars go through for them to make that a centerpiece of this season.
Hmm.
Whoo, because those are actual stories. Like this
Hmm.
isn't any kind of like, oh, that's a 13% chance of something like that happening. Like, no, this is real. You have people that have come out for years talking about their experiences of being child stars and the abuse, the trauma that they dealt with and how their parents were absent or just their blinders were up. Now, Monica was a predator, or just was she just working, taking her job too serious?
She was a predator. She was a predator.
Yeah. Like,
I guess I don't know if it was a proximity situation or what she was looking for, but yeah,
because he was what, 12, 13?
yep.
She would have got, I probably would have
Yeah.
took her out, not in the courtroom, but
Bowling
actually
ball made her hit a bowling ball.
something like like that's crazy to find that out in the courtroom. Like this hoe that's been with my child this entire time, and he didn't tell them because he didn't think that they would believe him.
Mm-hmm.
I think the scene with him and his mom, cried on that too. Like this season was so emotional because they hit so many fucking serious storylines. Mm. The
What did
writers
you think?
each of them need their own show.
What did you think of the dynamic between Jax and Ozzie this season?
So Jax was the person that Ozzy needed, because he didn't have anybody like her in his life. He didn't have anybody in his life that's going to pretty much tell him and call him out on his shit. And so she kept him honest in certain situations, even though he was lying the entire time. But I'm saying honest more so she was calling him out for his bullshit. But Ozzy lied every turn. And it's like, I'm trying to help you. Why are you lying? Lying to me is not going to benefit you. You're the one on trial, but also those critical thinking skills. Ozzy does not have that. So like as I was watching, I was so frustrated with his character, but as you were peeling back the layers of everything that he fucking went through on my rewatch, I understood. And it was heartbreaking because then it
Very
made
much
you
so.
think like I can't be mad at this character because this person went through all of this for 10 plus years. When you saw his interactions with his parents, with his sister, with women. So it was wild. What about you?
Yeah, he it was it's definitely what he needed, but you don't like I said, this season opens up on a cliffhanger. It opens up. We know somebody's going to die or something serious going to happen to a major player in the show. Um, and I think they did a great job with the redirection, but the entire time you're kind of waiting for that shoe to drop as you watching the show, and you just like, who is it going to be?
I
And
forgot about that opening scene.
I never forgot about it. Every episode, I'm like, Naima,
you
Naima.
you probably killed off a lot of people throughout this. I completely forgot about that scene until they had it on the recap of the episode.
I only thought about Naima. That's the only person I thought about. I'm like, this girl been tripping the whole season. She finally done did it. Um, so you're looking at that. Um, like I said, you just see you mentioned roller coaster, but the emotional roller coaster that Kyle had to give for this role. He it's this kid like conversation he be talking. Like it is, he's talking. You have that bravado, braggadocious attitude that he had. He had this charming, evil thing he was doing to the therapist in the middle of therapy. He's trying to charm a therapist. Um, then you have the silly Ozzy, where he and the bitch dancing to the thong song and just going crazy in the room, twerking, just wilding. Um, and then one thing, one scene that sticks out the most to me was when Jax was talking to the therapist, and she was like, "Jax, you the only person that he trusts." And that's good until you mess up that trust.
Or no
And
longer
then just
there.
and then that's where I was like, damn. Like I said, in the beginning you don't understand that, but you watch the last episode and you go back to that scene, it's like, man, that's a heartbreaker. That is a heartbreaker. One of the hardest scene in this was him saying, Jax, he said, I love you. Or either he said, I'm so mad at you, but I love you.
That's what it
Dog.
was. He said, I am so mad at you, but I love you. And he got tears in his eyes.
I had tears in my eyes. Hell, I'm getting them now. That shit, boy. I said this, nigga, that's deep, and I understood. So people, and I don't think it's fair that people are blaming Jax because that's a fucked up thing. And I and it's and unless you've actually dealt with somebody who's had an addiction, like it's not a thing of you can't leave things to chance. That's a thing where you have to get them. You have to seek the help out for them. Now, whether they stay or not, that's not that's not your responsibility. But if you can try to get them the help, you know what I'm saying, or seek help, like call one of these counseling phone numbers to get the help or the counseling or whatever it may be, especially if you can see those signs. Addiction is a motherfucker. I seen this. What is it? Subway takes. And the girl Rachel Sennett was saying they always ask what's something that you believe in that you want to take, and she said she feels as if people should get addicted to something and get off of it, and it's like that's a crazy fucking thing to think of because addiction is a motherfucker. And who say you so great you can beat this shit? Like that's a wild thing.
There's been too many people that lost their battles for me to think, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
I can get on that and I'll be good. It's like a lot of people feel like they are the ones to be able to beat it. It's like going up against the final boss that the percentages of people that have beaten it is very, very low. And it's just like, oh, I'm gonna be the one to beat it. And it's like, I'm just not gonna play that game. Being absent from that game is probably the best way to keep me from having to go up to that final boss because it is not worth the risk. And I like the way that they were expressing how Jax was holding that on her because it's just like I was trying to get him the help that he needed. And it just turned into something completely different because so many people in his life did not look out for him. And I think that's like where it gets lost to where it's just like y'all do realize his parents, his family failed him for real. And so it's just like you have somebody right here that's helping him. And then you have those scenes where he came spending time with her family. And at first I was like, is he over here just trying to get close to her? Like, does he have ulterior motive? No. He was just trying to be in the presence of an actual family. When he was telling her kids, like, I know sometimes it could be tough, your mom, but she's doing the best she can for you. So appreciate it. And it's just like the fact that you had individuals that were dealing with addiction, giving their kids very great advice. And it was just like all of the stuff Ozzie was dealing with. And I was just like, damn. Now she got to tell her kids he OD'd in one of y'all rooms. No, I swear I was not trying to make that to be a funny situation. I see how it could turn out to be.
Bruh, that's
You get
wild.
what I'm saying?
You be like, wait, what? Your
No,
favorite
no,
actor?
no, no, no. We were doing good. We're not pivoting to sarcasm because I had a joke. We're not, but especially with them just seeing him and him having a impact on them because they were fans of him. And it's just like, damn. in that scene, I was like, he not gonna die. He's gonna he's gonna be all right. He's gonna go to the facility. He's gonna be good. And then the next scene, you see the body going into the ambulance, and I said, "Oh, nope." But man, yeah, that
Yeah,
was definitely tough. Ozzy's storyline
yeah.
was, whew,
I, yeah, I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that at all, man. He did a great job with um with this role. He definitely bited from top to bottom. But of course, the entire time he's fighting for his life, we find out that uh it was his father who was the one that ended up killing Wendy. More so, Wendy went back to the house talking recklessly, talking crazy. The dad attacked her, bust her head, and was trying to get rid of her. So you just see everything, shit roll downhill from that point, and you just see how everybody began to scramble and do different things. And it's kind of crazy. Like every time he did drugs, he always passed out. So it was like this is a reoccurring constant thing. So at one point, this isn't gonna be there because he kept beating the odds, and it's like you only can beat the odds so much.
right.
Stop playing with the devil. Stop playing Russian roulette with your life.
Yeah.
And I guess within the end, with Ozzy passing away, it was like, dang. I guess one of the fucked up parts in that is, he when he was at her house the first time, when Corey was there, there was they kind of sat outside the room, kind of, on lookout type of thing. So I guess at this point they felt like they was um
Out the woods with it.
out the woods with everything. And is he unfortunately he snuck that last little pack in, um, and they got the best of him. He succumbed to that addiction.
Yeah. Do you think it was, do you think he had intentions on ODing? Or was it more so I want to get this last high before I,
It was definitely a last hoorah. Um, in that because it was just an addiction. So for him, it was just like shit. I've been doing this. I've been doing it for XYZ. As far as like it this point in life, where it's just some stuff you gotta let go of. Man, people are doing some of the most evil, sideways things, and you have to protect yourself at all costs, if at all you can. You know,
yeah,
man. Oh, Ozzy. Um,
R.I.P. Ozzy.
R.I.P. Ozzy. um, but they kind of they flirted with somebody major had to die because they kind of flirted with Mama Lou's death, and I was like, why are they playing Beyonce? I'm like, oh my god, what are y'all nigga? And then she doesn't. I'm like, y'all did all that and she survived.
That was a beautiful montage, though.
It was, but she should have died. I ain't like that, like that whole thing how they did that, and it was see how she did. Oh, this sad ass scene for nothing. It was man.
Look, if Willa, oh, that's a spoiler, ain't
Mm-hmm.
it? All
Mm-hmm.
right, I'm gonna leave it alone. But I thought she was out of here with that montage.
Mm-hmm.
That actually had me tearing up too. These motherfuckers had me tearing up a lot this season. I don't like that. I don't like when a show be having me crying. I'll be like, wait a minute. Why? Well, how did we get here? The first two seasons, I wasn't even that emotional. This season,
Yeah,
it was
no.
just,
They did it. They did it.
but
Man. Um who do you so who do you think got shot?
um, wait, what you mean?
When Monica snuck into the law firm?
Mercedes seemed like she has good aim. So I'm gonna say Jax probably caught that bullet, but it's probably somewhere in her like abdomen to where it's probably going to be her being rushed to the hospital at the opening of season 4. And it's probably gonna be some shit to where she's going to end up defending Monica.
I think Daniel out of here. I think Daniel sacrifices himself for the blunder he made this season with falling in love with an asset to murder.
Mhm.
Because I can't see them getting rid of Lewis. Like I can't see that.
No,
Um,
I
and I
can't
guess
see it being Daniel.
I can. I can see Daniel sacrificing himself to get shot. And I guess my other question was, how many more seasons of this do you think they have?
I would say you can stop at 5 if you
Yeah,
don't want to stop at 4. But I say do not exceed 5.
yeah. I said the same exact thing. Get five, get out of there. You make that because I said I don't know how much more you can do it without running yourself into a hole. I know
Right.
when seeing this episode yesterday, well, no, yeah, when seeing this episode, Bel Air is out. Only got 4 seasons, and they shortened the 4 seasons. They shortened the 4th season, which I hope, like I said, with this one here, they give it. I don't know. I don't even know how long or how many seasons they're planning for. Reasonable doubt, but I think 5 is the perfect number as well. Maybe give us an additional couple of episodes, give them one last hoorah, which I do feel it'll be Jax going against her old firm in a high profile case with somebody, maybe Corey or something. But I think it'll be a high profile case where she end up having to go against, maybe Bill or go against that law firm or something because one person who we gotta save is the fake Drake looking ass lawyer. That nigga get his ass whooped every season by Jax. He can't keep losing to Jax. Or maybe
Because
Jax can lose a case one season.
yeah,
Because she hasn't lost since Damon's situation. So her losing the case, that could be big too.
but losing
And
a
how she
case
done.
as soon as she gets her first law firm, like I'd rather her lose a case when she was working under them white people.
I mean, I think that puts them in a situation where
If you
her,
if you're
I
going
mean,
to do that, if you're going to have her lose like a major case at her first law firm, go ahead and do whatever storyline you have with that. But I'm gonna need a season 5.
that's what I'm saying. So you gotta have another season
Right.
where she redeems herself, but she gotta
Yeah.
lose one, right? Like that has
Yeah.
to happen.
Yeah. I
Where you just
mean,
like, what?
no, no, no. We need to, I want to see her take a L. And not because I'm rooting against her, but just I want to see her be able to bounce back from that
Exactly.
L.
That's
So
then we can hear the juvenile bounce back.
I don't think he was talking about
What do you
complications in life. I think he was talking about
no?
ass. I feel like he was talking about ass cheeks.
Well, you can apply bouncing back however you want to.
But I will say Insecure definitely got 5 seasons. So 5 might be like the magic number.
Yeah, that's all they give niggas.
Except Tyler Perry. He got about 100. He got syndication.
He running the fucking soap opera.
He is.
He running the fucking soap opera.
But so did you have a favorite episode?
The last one.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, definitely. I think definitely the last one. Just them being finally, tying up the story. I do feel like maybe they kind of extended it a bit longer than needed to, with the family, and I feel like they could have gotten to the end without the family so much. But I do still appreciate that because Ozzie never even found out the truth. That's another thing that's kind of fucked up. He just went away without it. Um, what about you?
I'm gonna say it was the episode where you got a flashback of young Jax and her father
Hmm.
because it was just that episode I think was it was a lot of powerful episodes this season, but that's the one that definitely stands out to me.
Got you. Got you. That was a good one.
Yeah.
It's my medicine. I bet.
And she over here taking it to her friends like my daddy do it. I'm like, why are you doing your drugs in front of our kid?
Not
What?
yeah, man. Not.
Yeah. But I do want to, I made sure to make a note. Like, I want to spotlight the importance of how we reviewed two shows this year that show amazing Black fathers because you have Lewis in this series, and then you also have Eric, who was played by Wood Harris in the show Forever.
Hmm.
Because I feel like Black fathers in TV shows are not getting enough spotlight. So to
Hmm.
see us getting that to where they're supportive, to where they communicate with their sons and daughters, in the case of this series, it's a beautiful thing to see, you know? So it's just, let's get some more of that in TV shows and in movies because Black fathers are important
Hmm.
to the family. And it's good to be able to show that in these projects. So
I agree. 100%.
I'm not, it's not like I'm currently talking to a Black father, you know, pandering to Black fathers, anything like that. But y'all cool.
Are you?
I
I'm just, I'm just saying, like, I didn't even think about that. I mean, but I mean, if that's what you're doing, let me know.
I like to
Like,
plant seeds and throw little ideas in people's minds. That's how
shit.
narratives get started.
Uh, uh, did you have anything else with this one that you
Only
wanted to keep it?
the last thing I just want to say is how family secrets can tear families apart. But then
Hmm.
sometimes I guess when you try to avoid family secrets, be prepared for any kind of reactions that you get when you provide family transparencies and being open, whether if it's with your kids or other people in your family. So, but yeah, family secrets, nah, but they're always going to be there. Always going to be there. But
Okay.
no, I didn't have anything else for this episode. I think we covered a lot actually.
We
So
did. We went through quite a bit. Went through quite a bit um throughout this one.
we cooked. We cooked.
I think that was everything. But of course, I mean, I feel like we've gotten it. But Chaz, was it good though?
Hell yeah. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna say how many times I watched this
I get it. I
because
promise you, I get it because it stuck to you. That was fulfillment. It stuck to you real. It wasn't one of them, just fly by night type shows. It stuck with you. Everything stuck with you.
for sure. Jason, was it good though?
It was. It was. I was thoroughly impressed with this season. Some of the topics, some of the things that some people may feel are taboo. Um, they got into. So I appreciate that. Then the duality of most of these scenes and situations where they show one scenario and they show um a different one. So yeah, I definitely appreciated that.
All right, all right.
Um,
I have a few. What did you think those for this?
got you.
All right. We have Tink. She's been on the episode before. She was actually on our episode as a guest for Forever. This hands down is one of the best shows on television right now. It's fire, it's black. Every episode ends in a good cliffhanger, and I'm ready for it to come back. But and yeah, that was the only comment that we had for this. I was curious if we get more people to comment on it, but yeah, shout out to Tank for dropping that comment. That's all I have for the what did you think those. Jason, do you have your link of thrones?
Sorry, hit me. I was the yes. So for my link of throne, I am going with Cowberry. And I'm gonna go with Our Kind of People. I think I may have shouted that show out before, but I'm definitely recommending that. That's something that I think people would enjoy. Um, if they watch. Jazz, what's your link of throne?
My Link of Thrones, I'm going to go with more chestnut because I was not prepared with anybody else. And I am going to go with one of the films people say is has one of the saddest deaths, which is Ricky, Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the
So,
Hood, always
yes,
hard.
yeah. It was like which black death or which that sounds crazy. Which death from a black classic hit the hardest? And more Ricky's death is, I believe, at the top selection. His and Deja
Yeah, yeah.
from Higher Learning.
Holla. G
But
baby, it's G baby.
yeah, and then some people just putting their
We
own
gonna
options
win
in
this
there.
shit, whoop. We gonna win this shit, whoop. But yeah, but as Jazz mentioned at the top of the episode, 180 is 181 is out now. One battle after another. Next week, we should be getting into Predator Badlands. On this again, appreciate each and every person who's listening, chatting, conversating. Whether it's on the socials, whether it's in the Discord, wherever it is, we appreciate you. We love you. And with this story, um, or moral of the story. Um, addiction is a motherfucker. Vices, older women, and drugs. I get it, but what? What?
Yo, I'm like, what is happening? At first, I was like, wholesome. And then it went older women and drugs. I get it. And I'm like, wait, wait.
I do like that was the moral of the story. Like I get it.
Oh, okay. Uh,
But on the serious tip, please, if you have an addiction, if you feel yourself having an addiction, if you do not know if you have an addiction, try to go without it and see how your body responds to it. And get the help you need, man. Talk to somebody, find somebody you can trust, somebody that's close. You can be mad at, but continue to love because they are loving you. And like I said, if you don't know, and sometimes if you don't know what love feels like, you assume these different things are love. People being able to pacify me is love. This person giving me what I want is love. But sometimes it's when people begin to push back against that, but in a healthy way, because you can see the family. Nothing the family did was healthy. The sister, to an extent, you can tell she cared and wanted to, but he was in the Ozzie business. So
yeah. And I guess they told her don't mess up the family money. Because like Ozzy told Jax, this isn't a me business, it's a we business. And he's taking care of his family, which
yeah,
puts a lot of pressure on somebody.
a lot of a lot of a lot of responsibilities. I'm trying to say it like Tommy,
Tommy,
but
oh, from
Tommy Pickles,
Rugrats.
yeah.
Leather.
I can't even say I can't even say how they be saying it, but yeah, yeah. Jazz, you have anything else for the people?
Nah, just want to say thank you so much to everybody who listens and watches the episode. Oh, I was on a round table with Afka for the movie The
Mm,
Knife. So y'all please
let's
check that out.
go.
Yeah, y'all please check that out. Hopefully some other ones would drop by the time this episode drops. You know, everything's gonna be posted on the pod page and of course the socials. But yeah, y'all give it a check out. So trying to do some things out here. But outside of that, y'all please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review. We do respond back to comments. and we engage on socials. But outside of that, it is the holiday season. Oh, well, no, Thanksgiving was last week. Damn, we ain't tell them happy Thanksgiving. So hopefully you had a happy Thanksgiving. Right. We ain't shit. But we might be having some. I think I'm going to do 25 days of Christmas reaction videos. I think. I don't know. By the time this episode drops, I should have had 2 already out. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
But this is the Was It Good Though podcast about movies, TV shows, and no addictions. I am Jason.
I am Jazz.
And until next time,
Cheers.
deuces.